revolutionaries, dark sentences, and false saviors. April 24th, 2015. The Patriots are invited to the White House.
The President of the United States hosting the Super Bowl champions on his South Lawn.
Obama is given a number 44 jersey by Robert Kraft, an Ashkenazi Jew.
The dream about this day and being able to win a championship and come here.
Owner Robert Kraft and the guys came bearing gifts, a number 44 Super Bowl jersey for our 44th president.
We have previously discussed the significance of the number 44 in Mark Twain's The Mysterious Stranger, a reference to Satan's son. Remember, 5 days before Hitler's birthday, the Patriots' Aaron Hernandez was convicted of the murder of Odin Lloyd, the one-eyed Norse god, who is also Osiris, Horus, or Nimrod, a representation of the coming Antichrist.
Tonight, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft took center stage, while the owner and his star player were once close.
He would always hug and kiss me.
Kraft told prosecutors he heard rumors about Hernandez's involvement in the killing of semi-pro football player Odin Lloyd and confronted the talented tight end in the weight room.
Obama was also given a football that read, "We are all Patriots."
Owner Robert Kraft and the guys came bearing gifts, a football reading, "We are all Patriots."
Bill Belichick said, "This makes you feel about as patriotic as you could ever feel."
It just makes you feel about as patriotic as you could feel right now.
A patriot is a loyal supporter. Patriots are also known as rebels or revolutionaries. George Washington, a patriot, led 13 colonies in the New World in a revolt against the established government of Britain. The football which read, "We are all patriots," actually means we are all rebellious. This is meant as a metaphor for Satan and the rebellious fallen angels who revolted against Yah's established government. The United States adopted the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, declaring independence from Great Britain. It should also be noted that on May 1st, 1776, Adam Weishaupt, an Ashkenazi Jew, formed the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment-era secret society that was financed by Meyer Amschel Rothschild, another Ashkenazi Jew, with aims to establish a new world order. These are the same people who financed Hitler, the Nazi war machine, and ultimately the Holocaust. It should also be noted that this same cabal also financed the very first settlements in Israel. But why would these people, who claim to be Jews, finance and promote a leader like Hitler with an ideology that is intent on destroying the Jewish people? We will return to this puzzling question later, and I will also show you a modern-day example of Ashkenazi Jews financing hate-filled propaganda that seems to be aimed at the destruction of the so-called Jews. For now, we will continue on the subject of the Bavarian Illuminati. The Illuminati, from its inception, was dedicated to the abolition of organized religion and the nation-state. They are anarchists. The worldwide Freemason organization is a part of this plan to destroy the nation-state, and America, the final world power, is the next target. April 19th, 2015. Freddie Gray dies in police custody from a severed spine after being arrested for no apparent reason.
His leg looks broke. Look at his leg. Look at his leg. That boy's leg looks broke. His leg broke and y'all dragging him like that.
During the press conference with the police regarding this case, the Masonic Lodge of the Fraternal Order of Police can be clearly seen on display. April 27th, 2015, riots break out in Baltimore. Fox News reports that white men, outside agitators, came into Baltimore to incite young high school kids to riot after the death of Freddie Gray.
But what do you make of that, the influence of outside groups agitating these kids in an environment where unemployment is high, frustration is high, anger is high?
Well, I was watching the videos from Saturday night, and it was the usual suspects, the ones that come in New York here. The agitators were there, and I saw it. And it's just funny to see these white guys. That's all I gotta say. 6 foot tall white guys with bandanas over their face, trying to hide their faces. What are they doing there? They're doing one thing. They're trying to stir up those young kids over there and make it like it's right.
This is nothing more than an orchestrated event meant to cause riots and revolution in the minority community. Notice that this riot is occurring in close proximity to May 1st, or May Day. May Day Riots are orchestrated as a celebration for the formation of the Illuminati on May 1st, 1776. This can be proven by looking back in America's recent history. The 1980 Miami riots were race riots that occurred in Miami, Florida in May 1980, following the acquittal of 4 Miami-Dade police officers and the death of Arthur McDuffie. The Rodney King riots lasted from April 29th to May 4th, 1992. The riots started in South Central Los Angeles and then spread out into other areas over a 6-day period within the Los Angeles metropolitan area in California. There's also further proof that riots are orchestrated to occur on May 1st or in the days just before or after that date, not just in America, but all over the world. All one has to do is research May Day Riots. April 24th, 2015. The Statue of Liberty is evacuated because of a bomb scare.
Well, what we can tell you is that at about 11:30 today, the U.S. Park Police received a call from someone with a bomb threat, actually saying that there was a package in one of the visitors' lockers. The U.S. Park Police responded with a bomb-sniffing dog.
The Statue of Liberty is one of America's most recognized symbols. She is a replica of the Babylonian goddess Ishtar, Queen Semiramis, or Isis, the mother of harlots and the goddess of freedom and liberty. This connects her with the American Revolution, led by the so-called Patriots or rebels. The Statue of Liberty was given to New York by French Freemasons who were responsible for the bloody French Revolution in their own country. Her mirror image stands on an island in the river Seine in Paris. The rays of the sun form a crown on her head, and she carries the flame as a light bearer, symbolic of Lucifer. The bomb scare at the Statue of Liberty, which sits in New York Harbor in view of the One World Trade Center, formerly the spot where the Twin Towers stood, was meant as a reminder to New Yorkers and all of America of 9/11 and Islamic terrorism. More specifically, this was orchestrated fear-mongering, meant to further deepen the psychological trauma left on Americans because of the 9/11 attacks, with the added subliminal connection to ISIS, the Islamic terrorist group, through a visual symbol, the actual Statue of Liberty, Isis, the mother of harlots. April 22nd, 2015. Only 2 days after Hitler's birthday, the news media runs a story concerning Islamic Jihad ads, which read, "Killing Jews is worship," will appear on New York subways and buses.
A U.S. federal judge has ruled that a controversial ad must be allowed to appear on New York buses and subways despite its aggressive headline, "Killing Jews is worship that draws us close to Allah." It also shows a man with a scarf covering his head, nose, and mouth, along with an attribution to Hamas, MTV, and the tagline, "That's his jihad. What's yours?"
Remember earlier, I told you that we would return to the puzzling question as to why would a pro-Israel organization finance anti-Jewish propaganda. Interestingly enough, the Killing Jews is Worship campaign that is scheduled to start appearing on New York public transportation is the brainchild of the American Freedom Defense Initiative and its founders, Pamela Geller, an Ashkenazi Jew, and Robert Spencer. Something even more interesting is the fact that Robert Spencer himself worked at Revolution Books, a communist bookstore in New York City, founded by Robert Avakian. Robert Avakian is an American political activist and chairman of the Revolutionary Communist Party. Remember Obama's mentor, Bill Ayers, the communist revolutionary? Well, Bob Avakian is of the same ideology as Bill Ayers, and both exploit the black community for their own purposes. Many may not be aware, but the common factor in the uprising, talks of revolution, and protests surrounding the deaths of Mike Brown in Missouri, Eric Garner in New York, 12-year-old Tamir Rice in Cleveland, and now Freddie Gray in Baltimore at the hands of police, has been the constant presence of outside agitators, including members of the white communist-led Revolutionary Communist Party.
But what do you make of that? The influence of outside groups agitating these kids in an environment where unemployment is high, frustration is high, anger is high.
Well, I was watching the videos from Saturday night, and it was the usual suspects, the ones that come in New York here. The agitators were there, and I saw, and it's just funny to see these white guys. That's all I gotta say. 6-foot-tall white guys with bandanas over their face, trying to hide their faces. What are they doing there? They're doing one thing. They're trying to stir up those young kids over there and make it like it's right.
The spirit of revolution is being used to destroy the social order here in America, with the orchestrated killing of minorities by police who serve as physical representations of the system and the systemic racist slave owner mentality that is America. This is the same spirit of revolution that is being fostered around the globe through the promotion of Islamic jihad by the so-called Jews who are the synagogue of Satan, according to Revelations 2:9, in an effort to bring about World War III and eventually the New World Order and the rule of their king, the Antichrist. Will you worship the true and living God, or will you follow the son of perdition? The choice is yours, but I warn you, choose wisely. Shalom.